Hey, I'm Dr. Heather Nicole Henley, and I want to show you two resources. I am in Orange Uncompromisingly, where we focus on choices, courage, and change. And my second resource is Influence the Mindset, where we remove the barriers, restore your vision, and reclaim your mind. Welcome to Moments with Dr. Heather Henley, where we bridge the gap between ministry and mental health. I am your host, Dr. Heather Henley. And listen, I have a great show for you on tonight. We are talking about dealing with challenges. It is the month of May, and this is Mental Health Awareness Month. I just want to take a moment and I want to give you some strategies just on how to deal with challenges. Listen, we all experience challenges. We all experience things that we have no control over. We all experience being triggered at times based on situations. Hey, we all experience some type of abandonment. We've all experienced some type of rejection. Listen, we have even experienced some type of being mishandled by individuals. But how many know that even with dealing with challenging things, that we can overcome it? How do we overcome it? Well, I'm just going to give you a few tips on how to deal with things that may be challenging. The first one I want to address is asking for help. How many of you all struggle with asking for help? Listen, I'm going to be transparent on today. I used to struggle with asking for help. I used to say this vow that I don't need nobody, and that I wanted to make sure that any and everything that I needed, that I could do it for myself. But I had to realize that as life took me on a journey, that I had to depend on other people. And listen, sometimes you get to the place where you are crying out to God and you are asking him for help, and then he sends the help, but you're so prideful that you don't accept the help that he sent. Oh, let me say it again. I'm guilty of it. I would cry and ask God for help. I would ask him to come in and intervene in my circumstance, in my situation. And then when he sent the help, I was too prideful to accept it. My God, today and tomorrow. Listen, we have to get to that place where we are asking for help. When you get to that place, you recognize, number one, that you are not alone. How many of you know that just because you ask for help, it doesn't put you in a place of being weak? See, I used to think that every time I asked for help, I was in a place of vulnerability. And this stems from my childhood. It stemmed from a trauma that I experienced in my childhood. And so then, because of that, I began to exhibit pride. So again, asking for help. Number two, we need to be able to make a plan. How many know that when you're dealing with difficult situations, when you are dealing with challenges, that it is key and important for you to be able to have a plan? You may not know what's going on or what's going to happen, but it's important for you to have a future plan. What am I saying? So if I know that situations trigger me, I need to already have a future plan on my response. I have to already have gotten myself together that I know that when these things happen, this is my response. And then it helps me to be able to handle the situation differently. How many know that you're always going to feel a level of rejection? So if you know that you're going to always somehow feel a level of rejection, you need to already have a plan. You have to already be pro-social about it. You want to already know that when I feel this way, what is going to be my plan of attack? What is going to be my 1 or 2 steps that's going to help me to bring me out of this place of feeling as though I'm rejected? Listen, it's important for you to understand and recognize what your triggers are. You have to be at a place where you make your triggers become a weakness. No longer will your triggers where your triggers become a strength, and no longer will your triggers become a weakness. Next, you have to know that you are not alone. Listen, along my journey of life, when I just felt that everyone was against me, I realized that I was not the only individual that had experienced being molested at 7. Now, I may have felt that way, I may have thought it, but I wasn't the only person. So I had to get to a place where I just didn't feel alone. I had to understand that when I self-isolated, it allowed the enemy to continue to put me in a low place. And while I was in that low place, I began to speak negative things about myself. I began to speak negative things about situations. And so at that moment, I realized that the low place was a place where the enemy could come in and cause me to feel defeated even though I was victorious. What am I saying? When you are in a low place, listen, the only place that you can really go is up. Come on now. So I want you to know that when you're dealing with challenging situations, when you're dealing with difficult situations, I want you to know that you are not the only individual that has experienced that, and that it is okay to not be okay. And even if you are in that place, if you're in a low place, the only place you can go is up. Third, I want you to feel. I want you to feel your feelings. A lot of times we mask our emotions. We begin to mask how we're feeling about specific situations. We begin to say that we are doing fine. We say that we're doing well when we really are not. And it is important that when we are dealing with those difficult situations, when we are challenging our emotions, when we are challenging our belief systems, when we are challenging what is in front of us, when we are challenging a fact and a truth, we have to be intentional on recognizing what we're feeling. As I indicated, it is okay not to be okay, but it is not okay for you to stay in the state that you're in. Let me say that again. It is okay not to be okay, but it is not okay to stay in the place that you are in. Listen, feel your feelings, because I don't want you to become trapped or consumed by what you feel because you're just not dealing with it. Next, help others. So we're talking about how do we deal with those difficult challenges, challenging issues, challenging circumstances that come, those catastrophic things that come in our life to move us, that shakes the very foundation, that shakes the very core of who we are. How do we do that? We help others. It is important that when you are dealing with your difficulties, your challenges, it is good to help others, because what you put out, you get back. When you begin to be selfless, when you humble yourself, and when you look at what others are experiencing, then God begins to heal you, because you are in the process of healing others. Let me say that again. Even when you're in a challenging situation, when things are difficult for you, at that moment, you want to reach out and help someone. Next, I need you to have a positive mindset. It is important that when dealing with a difficult situation, that you have a positive mindset. What a man thinketh, so is he. What you think becomes your reality. Train your mind to think big. Listen, let me give you an example. I remember when my mother had breast cancer. And so, listen, we're talking about a positive mindset. We're talking about speaking a thing. We're talking about being voice activated. And so during the time when she had the cancer, back I believe in 2002, there were others around her that had cancer as well. And so listen, we had a positive mindset. Everything that we spoke was according to the word of God. There was no negativity. We were speaking that she shall live and not die to declare the works of the Lord. We were speaking that she was healed. We were speaking that the radiation wasn't going to cause a decompensation to her other organs. We were just speaking these things. Everything that came from our mouth, everything that proceeded out of our mouth was tied to the fact that she was healed and made whole, and that there was no residue, that there were no remnants of cancer, that every lymph node, it was brought back to its original state. Come on, what am I saying? That what a man thinketh, so is he. So when you are dealing with your difficult situation, you have to be at that place where everything that you say, everything that you think, everything that you talk, it lines up with the will of God. And listen, if you don't have anything good to say, be quiet, because your voice activated. Next, don't give up. Persistence is a huge key to overcome challenges. Hey, I have been through some things. I know what it feels like. I've been hurt. I've been misused. I've been mistreated. I've been lied on. I've been stabbed in the back. I've been there. I've had some challenges. I've had some illnesses challenges. I've experienced some things, but I was persistent. So listen, in order for you to make it, you cannot give up. You have to be persistent about your pursuit to be the best version of you. Life takes us on a journey. We're going to experience some challenges. We're going to experience some difficult times. But I want you to do these things. Listen, I'm going to leave you with these 4 steps. Number 1, I want you to accept and let go. Accept where you are and what you have. Number 2, I want you to observe and decide. When you're going through a situation, step away from it so that you can get your feelings together, so that you can be sober. Because you need to observe that you're in the situation, but you have to decide that you're coming out. My God, today, you need to observe that you're in the situation, but you have to decide that you're coming out. Number 3, you want to be able to face your fears. You want to face the fact that this is what it is. And last, I want you to practice gratitude. Reframe your definitions and change your language. Listen, my name is Dr. Heather Henley. You have just watched Moments with Dr. Heather, where I bridge the gap between ministry and mental health. Hi, I am Dr. Heather Nicole Henley, the Master of Crisis Therapy. You can find me on all social media platforms by clicking on the link below.